Subscribe and turn on the bell. Don't miss our next deep dive. The latest rumors have exploded. Xi Jinping may be looking for a way out for himself. And the destination isn't Russia, but North Korea. Why such a shocking claim? Because North Korean Foreign Minister Cho Sun-hui visited China twice within 1 month. Officially it's called friendly exchanges, but online discussion is boiling. This doesn't look like ordinary diplomacy at all. It looks more like paving an escape route for Xi in advance. What's more, just before this, footage from a celebration in Xinjiang showed Wang Huning standing next to Xi, hands clasped behind his back and not looking at him. Netizens erupted. Is this public humiliation or a signal? On one side are rumors of a North Korea fallback route. On the other are signals from the hands behind the back detail. The two stories lock together, cranking tension to the max on the eve of the Fourth Plenum. So here's the question. Is Xi Jinping really about to step down? Or is someone deliberately leaking information to pressure him to resign? Next, let's talk about North Korea. According to Xinhua, North Korean Foreign Minister Cho Sun-hui visited China at Beijing's invitation from September 27th to 30th. This was her second visit within a month. The official explanation is China-North Korea friendly exchanges. But overseas independent media and commentators have picked up another under-the-table line. If Xi Jinping faces a power crisis around the CCP's Fourth Plenum, would he consider North Korea as a potential place of refuge? There are claims that Xi originally considered Russia as well. But the problems are many. Putin is bogged down in the war in Ukraine. If Xi sought exile in Russia, Putin would be in a bind. Handing over Xi could be condemned as treachery. Sheltering him could mean a complete break with any new leadership in Beijing. By contrast, North Korea is a fearless, small nuclear state with few external constraints, and Xi's relationship with Pyongyang is close. Some foreign media have even suggested that during the September 3rd military parade, Xi paid Kim Jong-un a massive friendship fee for his appearance, in order to maintain a special relationship. Add to that the short distance from Beijing to Pyongyang. If things suddenly go south, a North Korea route could use air, land, and sea corridors to evacuate quickly. This stands in stark contrast to Lin Biao's rushed escape northward back in the day, which ended in a fatal crash on the Mongolian steppe. Some speculate that precisely because of the lesson of Lin Biao's failed flight, Xi values the nearby and controllable North Korea option more. In other words, the so-called Xi Jinping escape route is not just a power rumor. It's also a kind of psychological projection. When internal power struggles become unmanageable, does the core figure also need to leave himself a way out? The reason these escape rumors invite so much speculation is that the Fourth Plenum itself is shrouded in uncertainty. The official agenda speaks of economy and reform, but many believe the real undercurrent is power transition and personnel reshuffling. Judging from recent signs, talk of Xi stepping back to the second line isn't unfounded. For example, on September 24th, an Associated Press report said Premier Li Chang's visit to the U.S. had become a new signal. In the past, major diplomatic events of this kind were usually handled by Xi in person. This time, Li moved to the front stage and was described by foreign media as Beijing's new interface with the world. Meanwhile, Xi himself chose to appear at the 70th anniversary of the Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region celebration, but remained silent throughout, with CPPCC Chairman Wang Huning delivering the speech in his stead. In the eyes of observers, this silence is tantamount to giving the stage to someone else. More sensitively, military affairs are now said to be under the full control of Zhang Youxia, party affairs in the hands of Kai Chi, and state administration handled by Li Chang. As the party, government, and military power blocks gradually diverge, the configuration of Xi as the sole core appears to be loosening. Historically, Mao Zedong, Deng Xiaoping, and Jiang Zemin all retired to the second line. After the Lushan Conference, Mao gradually stopped handling day-to-day affairs but still held military power. Deng kept only the CMC chair yet could decide major national matters. Jiang used the CMC to check Hu Jintao. By comparison, Xi's situation is more awkward. After Zhang Youxia regained firm control over the military, large numbers of Xi's faction were purged, and old subordinates like Miao Hua and He Weidong lost influence. Without control of the military, if Xi is forced to hand over the baton, he would lose the ultimate say. Against this backdrop, the so-called North Korea backup route naturally draws attention. Everyone is asking, if the Fourth Plenum really triggers a drastic power reshuffle, will Xi still have a chance to exit safely? On September 26th, a scene at the Xinjiang celebration pushed outside speculation to a peak. In photos released by Xinhua, Wang Huning stood next to Xi Jinping with his hands clasped behind his back, gaze lowered, and without looking directly at Xi. You have to understand. The CCP is extremely particular about political etiquette. In front of the General Secretary, members of the Standing Committee are supposed to appear fully focused and deferential. Averted eyes and hands behind the back are typically the posture of a leader. Even more intriguing, Kai Chi and He Lifeng beside Wang adopted similar postures, as if in tacit coordination. Netizens went nuclear. Some said, "This is humiliation. Wang Huning is telling everyone she is no longer the sole core." Others quipped, "Before, everyone rushed to clap with both hands. Now they're clasping them behind their backs to look calm. The wind has really shifted." Some placed the screenshot alongside past footage of Li Keqiang and Wang Yang, not looking at Xi, noting, details in CCP politics are never simple. More dramatically, Wang Huning used to be famous as a master flatterer. At the 2021 centenary of the CCP, he was arguably the most enthusiastic clapper, nearly throwing his body toward Xi. Yet just 4 years later, he clasps his hands behind his back, with a completely different attitude. This contrast convinces many. It isn't Wang who has changed, it's Xi's status. This hands behind the back shot reminds many people of Xinjiang's story. On June 10, 2023, Xinhua published a set of photos from a state council study session. In the images, Ding Xuexiang and He Lifeng are bowing their heads and taking notes, while Xinjiang alone leans back in his chair, hands under the table, seemingly looking at his phone. To outsiders, this is a small gesture, but in CCP propaganda logic, it's a big taboo. Showing disrespect in the leader's frame suggests a problem with one's political attitude. Even more telling, not only was the photo not deleted, it was broadcast openly. Within the system, this was read as an official leak, hinting that Xinjiang's political position might be unstable. In less than a month, Qin was swiftly dealt with, first removed as foreign minister, then assigned to a non-core deputy post, thoroughly marginalized. The diplomatic portfolio he once controlled was divided and absorbed by other top leaders. Reports circulated that his network within the diplomatic system was dismantled, with former subordinates reassigned or removed from key positions. Under tight control by state media, Xinjiang virtually vanished from public view. In the end, he stopped attending major diplomatic events and no longer appeared at important meetings. To this day, the outside world cannot confirm whether he is under house arrest, merely fallen from power, or subject to something more extreme. His whereabouts remain a mystery. In retrospect, that looking at the phone photo seemed to be a trailer for the end of his political career. Xinhua's decision to publish was likely not a mistake, but a deliberate signal to other officials. Every detail in the frame can decide your future. Now, Wang Huning's hands behind the back shot is being interpreted alongside Xinjiang's looking at the phone photo. Both are unconventional postures in major settings. Both were openly aired by official media, and both became fuses for rapid public speculation. The difference is that Xinjiang was an airdropped minister with a shallow base, while Wang Huning spans the eras of Jiang, Hu, and Xi, an imperial tutor type who knows the arts of survival. This leaves the question: was Wang Huning's posture a move for self-preservation, a test balloon, or an official trial leak? Power struggles are often more ruthless than they look. To understand this, we have to examine the factional wrestling before the Fourth Plenum. Xi's camp, the core cohort, but lacking deep historical roots and bound by personal loyalty. If the core weakens, the group is easily purged. Remnants of the Jiang faction, networks linked to Zhang Dejiang and Zheng Qinghong, still retain some strength in the party-state military system. The Youth League faction, diminished after Li Keqiang, but still resourceful in localities and think tanks. Technocratic officials, figures like Li Chang and He Lifeng value practical results and self-preservation over ideology. Wang Huning's uniqueness lies in the fact that he has never truly belonged to any faction. He is a master of alignment. His survival from the Jiang era to today rests on this ability to trim his sails to the wind. Now, with his hands behind the back posture, is he protecting himself or testing the waters? It's worth pondering. Why can a single gesture trigger such an uproar? The answer lies in the CCP's lack of openness and transparency. In this system, details are signals and signals are the future. One photo can say more than 1,000 words. A glance or emotion can be the true portrait of factional infighting. That's why netizens are hypersensitive. Some have juxtaposed this hands-behind-the-back image with the subtle clues once visible around Zhou Yongkang and Bo Xilai, reading it as a weather vane signal. In the run-up to 2012, various public appearances by Zhou Yongkang were analyzed as early warning signals of power shifts, which ended with his downfall. During Bo Xilai's Chongqing period, gestures, expressions, even seating arrangements at public events were read as tests of factional strength, culminating in a dramatic end to his political career. Xinjiang's fate, in particular, has strengthened the belief that non-compliant shots deliberately broadcast by Xinhua are never accidental. In sum, the rumors behind Cho Sun-hui's visits, Xi Jinping's North Korea escape route, Li Chang's rise on the diplomatic front, and Wang Huning's hands behind the back detail together compose a tableau of power struggle. The questions remain. Will Xi Jinping actually step back to the second line? Does the North Korea option truly exist? Or is it a deliberately released smokescreen? Was Wang Huning's posture merely a personal habit or public humiliation? The curtain on the CCP's Fourth Plenum is about to rise. This meeting may become the biggest window for observing the CCP's future configuration. On this stormy eve within a highly closed political system, details are signals and signals are the future.